Hey, is anybody out there? As they say in the song. Is anybody out there? I'm here today to do a little live video. Kim couldn't be here again today due to stuff that she's got to do, but mostly because she just can't take it anymore with the lagging video, and she doesn't like to do the phone because it's, we have to like sit in each other's lap basically. So hopefully we'll get there. Whatever issues there are, we'll get them straightened out. Evidently, some of the issues, I mean, if not all of them, I think are on the Facebook end, because we have tried more than one computer with two different internets connections, and it does fine on phone, but not on the laptop. Two separate laptops, and like I said, two separate connections. So anyway, having said that, the reason I decided to come home. The reason I decided to come on today by myself is because it's National UFO Day, and I can't miss UFO Day. And I've been sending Kim all grades of stuff to talk about, and I tried to remember what I'd sent her, but evidently this is a day when I feel like if you're going to have a National UFO Day, you got to have somebody talk about it. And I was watching last night a new series of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix, a story, a really interesting story. And if you've got that, watch it. If you don't, look it up, because I actually had sent her the no, don't tell me, I know what I'm talking what it is. I can't remember the word. I sent her the link. It's the Berkshire UFO thing. Or look up Great. Oh, I forgot the name of it. Just look it up, what I just said, and read about it. Berkshire, I think it's named, Massachusetts UFO 1969. That'll get you there. But anyway, I realized I'd actually sent her a link to that very story too. And I thought that was interesting. I didn't even realize it was the same thing I was watching. And when I looked at that story, because I was looking, at the email center to kind of refresh my memory, it said that this guy who's kept this story alive all these years said that he saw two beings. I mean, I'm telling you, people, you need to look this up. This is like, what? But anyway, he said that they were ant-like creatures. The thing is, and I swear you can ask Kim, you can ask other people maybe that I've told, I actually drew an outline one time of what a vision I was getting about an alien being. And I swear, it was like, I kept thinking it's like an insect. It's like an insect. It looks like an insect. Like I wanted to say it was a grasshopper type thing. So the point of this story is, I don't have a point, actually. I just thought it was interesting that what he said that he saw was what I have been envisioning for years. So I think that another thing I posted and had sent her was about Tom DeLonge, as you know, the front man for that group, and then who is responsible for getting those videos put out. He says that they have even more information on all this stuff, which they're going to try to get released and whatnot. And some of the things that he said that he wants to get released, it talks about there being more than one type and some hostile beings. And I feel like, again, validated what I've been saying for years. So I thought I would, at the bottom of y'all things, I don't know if you can see it or not, it says bring them on, where I could tap on it, I guess, and bring somebody on. I'm not really well versed in this, but I was saying this about the aliens, and I'm looking down, I'm saying bring them on. I think, no, we do not want to bring them on, although they might be coming on. I feel like I'm just supposed to say today that expect more information to be coming out. It's just going to happen, and there it is. So have that. Next thing I will tell you is I walked into the kitchen to get some hot water because I need some hot water to pour down the drain for the Drano thingy, because I got a clogged drain, and my coffee pot is missing. And I don't know why I'm telling you this. It's just like, it's electric. It's an electric pot. The burner thingy's still there. I don't know. I just want to where'd it go? If I go back in there and it's sitting back again, I'm going to freak out. My guess is that my son went down and got it and carried it back upstairs, maybe without realizing what he was doing. I don't know. Anyway, get plenty of bug spray. Dorana says maybe we should and maybe we shouldn't. Depending on, I guess, what their agenda is, which I guess we'll find out soon enough whether we want to or not. But I just feel like there's been a whole lot of progress made lately, and I've talked about this 100 times, that I do feel that we are being prepped, and I just think that people are maybe ready to at least open a door to that possibility. So, have this for your amusement because it's National UFO Day. So there. Okay, somebody want to ask me something about anything? Because I'm not going to stay on here forever. I just wanted to come on for a minute and see what else was going on in the world. I forgot what all I gave to... Let me check my email here and see what else I might have sent her for us to talk about. Hold on a minute. I never do anything right on here, I don't think. Okay. Anybody else want to ask me something? Okay. Okay. Somebody, I'd sent her a thing about how to know you're an intuitive genius. I'll get it in a minute. And I posted it too, how to tell if you're an intuitive genius. Okay, and basically I thought it was a pretty good article. And the reason that, I sent to her so we'd have something to talk about, but also posted it because I think a lot of people think that being so-called psychic means that you're just this whole other creature and all that, when actually I think most people are already tapping into that, left and right, but they just don't acknowledge or they don't understand that they're doing that. And the way you enhance that, if in fact you want to enhance it, is basically just simply pay attention. For example, when you walk in a room and you can feel somebody's been fighting in there, nobody says anything, you just know. And that's, I think, a natural thing that we can do. We can pick up that stuff. So what you want to do is you just acknowledge it. You find out you're right. You remind yourself you're right. So in other words, if and when you have any kind of hunch, feeling, insight, whatever, and it turns out that you were, validated on it, remind yourself of that validation, because that helps you to firm up. It teaches your body what to basically pay attention to. Okay? So I think I posted it. You can look on there and find it. Brandy says, have I heard about the sudden change shortage? I have not heard about that, so I cannot comment on that, but I will say nothing surprises me anymore. Very, very little. I think of course some people are scare aliens, and some people should be. I mean, they've been whipping people out of their beds left and right to take them on board their vessel and do God knows what with to them. So, but even if their beings are totally benign, angelic, wonderful, and everything else, it's natural to be afraid of what you don't understand. And when people, unfortunately, are afraid, they tend to strike out. God forbid we actually gather information and learn something. No, we just stomp on it and destroy it and then decide, I wonder what that was. And so I think that there are alien beings, and I'm not taking this back, whose goal might be to, I'm going to say, tame us, quote unquote, tame us, because we are such a hostile race of beings that I'm talking about the human race, that we're almost ready to just self-destruct any second now. I'm waiting for the bomb to come in any minute. So sometimes I think they might be gathering out there just to, watch the show. Bring on the popcorn. Let's watch the clouds, the mushroom clouds. But yeah, I think that, very often, I think cheat ourselves because, we are so afraid of an idea, or we're so afraid of something we don't understand that automatically it's evil. I don't understand it, therefore it is evil. I don't find a certain thing that tells me anything I need to know about it, and whatnot. Thing is, it is what it is. It exists or it don't. It doesn't need anybody's permission to do what it does. And whether or not they ever decide to make an appearance and mingle with us is yet to be seen. I think we are being studied. I know we're being studied. I just know that. And I think that I've also said that they infiltrate this race by actually maybe, as I've already said, maybe there are some of us walking around, I don't think it's me, but some humans that may actually have the soul of the spirit of an alien being. Because, in my belief system, if God created us, He created them all. So anyway, and that's what, Billy Graham actually said, too. He said the Bible doesn't say you can't have aliens. They'd just be created by Him, too. But, I think they would have a spirit, and I think sometimes there are people walking around who are genetically modified, maybe. Let's put it that way. Genetically modified to, they're more alien than they are human. Let me just put it that way. I don't know how to put it any other way, and that's probably totally inaccurate, but that's just the way I'm going to put it. And I've already told you before, I've met some of these people, and they know they're not like other people, and when I tell them that, they fully get it. And I feel like these may be people who are reporting back, you might say, to the home base without even knowing that they're doing that, so that they can get an understanding of humans and what the heck is that about. And some people believe we are a creation by those aliens, that they are actually a project of those aliens. I can see that too. And some people feel like this is a prison planet, and our souls are put here to have to be locked up for God knows what's probably where we should be kept. And some people maybe don't feel that we've been sent here, but they feel like we're being quarantined here because we are such an aggressive species. I mean, look at history. Look how we've treated other people, and other people have treated us. All the people. Anyway, somebody asked me something. What was it? Okay, okay. Yeah. Okay, y'all can read your own comments there. Okay, wait a minute, here's somebody talking. Let me see what they're saying. Okay. Y'all can just read these comments yourself and decide what you want to talk about. Okay, apparently, Brandy says there's a shortage of change. Well, that is just crazy. So I guess we need to start using our cards. Really, money is really a filthy thing to be handling anyway. So if we could use our cards, it might be better. I'm always a little bit scared. It's like I'm going to use my card and somebody's going to get all my money out. So I guess I need to use my credit card, not my bank card. So I guess that might be safer, but it doesn't surprise me. I feel like, that is a really germy thing, is cash money. Fran, do you think the pandemic is in any way related to aliens or the conditioning? I don't know, but it makes me feel that there's something there, and I'm not sure exactly what, whether they're watching to see what happens, whether it's a trial run, that, there are people seeing how we handle these things or what, but it wouldn't surprise me, but I just don't know. I feel more like observers. I feel much more likely that they are observers, although maybe, maybe it's a test to see what happens, and maybe it's something that they can help us with. But, they've never helped us before, as far as I know, with anything. If they had, I think we'd be better off. But then again, maybe they weren't here before, so I don't know. I didn't know humans were really inherently not good. I don't think that human beings are inherently anything. I think you make a choice as to, where you want your energy to go. You either want your energy, I'm responding to Gabrielle, says he didn't know that they were inherently not good. He thinks that we make a choice. I do too. I don't think anybody is inherently good or evil, but I think if you just look at history, there is good in history, but there's a whole lot of not good too. And I think we have to learn, if you are not doing good things, you don't get a good result. And I think if you have do a lot of good things, then you might get a better result. And this is how you treat your friends, your children. You treat everybody. And I think that if you treat people well, the likelihood of having a better society and a better world is likely to happen. But our history, and if you want to see where you're going, look where you have been. And if you don't like where you've been, you do have to step back and choose love. You have to remember, the old golden rule there. Let's let's treat people like we'd like to be treated. Some people might like to be treated badly, but most people would like to be treated fairly and squarely, as they say, So I think it comes down to that. But it really comes down to, and I've told you this before, love and fear. Love and fear. If you put energy into fear, you get all the things that come from fear. You get hatred, you get violence, you get, separation. And, human beings are social creatures, and we're not meant to be hermits, really. I mean, there's some exceptions, of course, to everything. There's an exception. But, yeah, you got to look at, you have to look at your choices there, and you got to choose a choice that gives you the best result, and you got to teach your children about these choices, and you got to also think of your responsibility as a citizen on the planet, and not destroy the planet that you're living on with, making bad decisions about other things that live here. And you choose love, and I think you get it back. I think you choose fear, and you get it back. You put energy into this, that's what you get back. And some people will never be able maybe to let go of the fear. And the fear is not a bad thing. Sometimes it keeps you safe, maybe, but too much fear keeps you isolated, and it cheats you. It cheats you out of something better. Okay, thank you for, some people are agreeing with me. I love it when people agree with me. Hey, Gavin. Let's see, time travelers amongst, Brandy, it wouldn't surprise me if they're not observers from outside our timeline. I think there are being more and more discoveries daily as to how that works. Sometimes, maybe time collapses in on itself somehow. I don't even know what I mean when I say that, but maybe I think that is something that I'm supposed to say is a cautionary thing. But see, anything that's different, even that idea, it will cause even me sometimes like, no, miss open mind over here. It's like, no, we don't want to talk about that. Bad things happen. Again, it's not abnormal to have fear. That's what kept cavemen from being, eaten by the wolves. They learned to be afraid of things that might devour them. But, fear in and of itself can become a thing that devours you. Okay? That's what I want to say. Okay. Gabrielle, life is but a dream. Sometimes I wish I'd wake up from it too. I have actually, think, wouldn't this be interesting if this was our dream and we were actually living in the dream thing, but we forget it when we wake up. I think there was a Star Trek episode about that. No, I do not think it was a planned thing. Not at all, because just simply, if nothing else, for the fact it costs money. The economy's tanking, Renee, and nobody in power is going to do anything to, I think, cost anything. But do I think, however, having said that, well, I do not feel that there's some force that caused it. I'm wildly surprised it took it as long as it did. I'm telling you, it's going to be another one coming. I've been saying that for a long time, and then probably yet another one after that. One of my clients said the earth is going to shake us off like fleas get shook off a dog. I think that's probably in the right vein. I think, after a while, it's what happens. And especially, I think, when you're overpopulated and stuff. So, but anyway, do I think, however, having said that there is a very strong possibility that there are those in the world who would take advantage of a situation to enhance whatever agenda that they might have? Sure, why not? I don't feel like there are people out there who have a lot of money that are trying to create a vaccine or anything like that to make more money off of that too. That's another crazy town of conspiracy, and I'm not going with it. Sorry. I don't mean to insult or offend anybody. You believe what you believe, and that's fine too. But, really, you got to really be careful, because there's a lot of conspiracy theories, and when people have a lot of anxiety like they do when they're being isolated like this, and their security's being threatened, and they're being terrified because they don't know how they're going to pay their bills, or if they're going to lose their home or whatever, when that happens, people will believe sometimes really things that they would not believe when they're in a very stable place. So you need sometimes to check yourself and ask yourself, is this coming from a place of logic, or is this coming from a place of great anxiety? And if it's come from a place of anxiety, put a pin in it and go back to it, look at it later, and see if it's still something that you agree with. If it is, it is. You got a right to believe what you want to. Hey, it's, no matter what, you got your right to your own thoughts. Okay, history does repeat itself because people don't learn. Okay, thank you, Robin, for changing that subject. How can you contact your spirit guide? Sorry about that. You get yourself in the... God, I hope I don't have a client call me right now that I forgot about. No, I don't. Okay, you get yourself in a calm state. And when you get yourself, like when you're half awake, half asleep, or you can do it by breathing. A bathtub is a really good place if you like to take your bubble bath. I got to get one of those walk-in tubs one of these days. I can't get my bathtub in and out of it anymore. I'm getting so fat and broke down, and knees and everything else. I swear, sometimes I can't. I mean, I'm good. I can get up and down. I can run around, and sometimes I can't. And I just like, man, I'm in that tub, and I'm spinning around trying to get out. And it's like, man, you don't want your husband to have to come in here and get you out of here. But anyway, bathtub is a really good place if you got the right kind and you can move. Get yourself really calm, and then imagine that there's a door maybe that opens up, and imagine you go through that door. Try to visualize this, okay? And imagine as you go through, you meet your guide. That's what you're doing, the whole point of this. Now, you might find that it comes to you in the form of an animal, or a ball of light, or a person. And, you can then talk to them. And if any time you feel really freaked out or weird or uncomfortable, imagine that you're coming back into yourself through that door. Feel yourself breathing. Feel yourself getting strong in your body again. And then, kind of breathe out and then end it. Now, having said that, don't do that too much, because I feel like you can open yourself up to some stuff that is, there are otherworldly beings out there, not aliens, just other kinds of things that... could actually, they would love to have your body because they don't have one. So you have to be careful how you do this. So anyway, you can do that. At some point, if you do those kind of guided meditation or meet your guide things I just kind of described to you, and look it up, don't just go with this little thing here. There are things that could confront you, and you kind of that you might say these are manifestations of inner demons, and you might have to battle those so that you can get through those to get some more clarity. And again, you might think this just isn't the best idea. Probably that is true. Now, having said that about how to meet your guides, here's another way. When you're half awake, half asleep, because that's when you're psychically powerful, you can say something like, I would like to... sorry, my husband just came in and handed me a lottery ticket. Yay. So anyway, what you might want to do is ask, when you're in that zone, I would like to know who my guides are, and then leave it the heck alone. And then what you might find is you have certain thoughts, certain images, dreams, or you may have just somebody says something. In other words, you may have a lot of things come to you that show you. Okay, now, having said that, another thing you can do is you just have somebody maybe you loved and have moved on or whatever, that image of that person or whatever that might pop in your mind, they're very well working with you as a guide. And what you might be doing is that thought that just popped into your mind about them could actually be at some level you're sensing them. And because you're sensing them, it kind of comes to your brain as just, a thought, a random thought. Okay, so that's another way. Don't ever push this stuff too hard, though. If you're having to push too hard, it's not best, okay? The end. Put the energy out there, leave it alone, and expect to come back. Now, here's my final word on this, and I've already told y'all this before, I'm sure, but I'm going to tell you again. If you're riding down a road, first of all, let me say this. Guides change, okay? And you may have some that are higher level spirits you will not ever actually communicate with, and that's fine and dandy. Some that you never knew that might walk into your life for help you through a task, help you through a certain thing, and then back away again. And then some that may be with you from day one to day end that will work with you, and you may or may not sense them. Okay, so just be aware.
He won the lottery.
Oh, good. Okay.
No, he won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Look, he got the triple. And he got 3 of those.
Who did?
Batman.
That's
He won
awesome.
Big.
That's awesome, Dylan. Just let me say, James just won the lottery. My guess is he did not win the lottery, that Dylan does not know how to read a card. And my guess, if he won anything, it will probably be $5. That's why Gigi never buys lottery tickets. Anyway, what was I talking about? Anyway, these guide things, okay? They change. You may have one working with you that you never met in life who may be working because maybe it helps their soul to help you. They may have lived through this maybe in their life, and therefore they are able to see things, know things, and whatnot to help you through yours. So it's only natural that, you be interested in this and stuff. And like I said, I gave you a guided meditation to help you, but again, they might change. Okay, so, and some may not. You can have as many as one, as many as a room full at any given time, depending on what's happening. They do work with you in an unconscious way. Now, having said that, you're traveling down a road, and there's a detour up ahead, and there's some guy up there holding a sign. Yeah, I know some of you heard this before. I'm going to tell you again. Okay, and what you do is you read that sign, and you follow that direction. You don't really think about it. You do not stop and have a long conversation with this guy. You might take a notice of him or her. You might think, hey, they look like somebody I know, or, oh, that's my old brother-in-law doing that job. You might, see that or whatever. But you don't really stop your car and get out and have a conversation unless you're a very strange person. You follow the direction. You don't think about the direction. You don't analyze the direction. You don't come up with a better way to have run that direction. What you do is...
Batman won $20.
Oh, Batman won $20. So what you do is you follow... You just do it. You don't think. You just do it. That's how guides work. And that's how it's supposed to work. If you are spending way under too much time looking at all this, then what you could be doing is actually thwarting the whole purpose anyway, because you're not looking at the road that you're on. You're not looking at the direction you're going. You're not making the decisions you need to make about it. What you're doing is looking at the guide, and you know what you're going to do? You're going to fall off, you're going to drive off the road, or you're going to take the wrong direction. The guide's job is not to be overly visible. It's not. It's not to be overly apparent. It's to give you directions that go in the back of your mind, okay? But having said that, very often, yes, we do have people that we loved and lost. Very often they're with us, helping us in ways we may not understand at our current level ever, okay? And at the same time, there are, as I said, those that come and go and maybe work with us in a dream, or they send a animal spirit. In my belief, animals have shared spirits. Like, I think our individual domesticated animals have their own. I don't know why I think they just do, but like there's the spirit of the buffalo, the spirit of the whale, the spirit of the owl. Okay, shared spirit. And I think those animals, sometimes the universe might use that energy, that spirit may be also part of that God stuff. And I think it makes itself known because we might start seeing images of those animals everywhere you go. And it's like you can look it up, spirit guide, and, maybe one from birth to death, and then maybe others that come and go. For example, I might be talking to somebody and I say, I feel coyote with you. And I'm getting old now, I don't care. I'll just say, just go Google it. But, coyote might mean to be wary of a trickster. Or it may mean that they have the ability to be a little more sly and cunning and survive and be made stronger by things that should have killed them, It could mean a lot of things. But if you see a coyote, it also might mean, and it don't have to be a real one. It could be like an image. It just keeps coming up. It means, hey, pay attention. Right now, this energy is available to you because this spirit animal is your guide. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm boring y'all to death. I've actually bored myself to death at this point. Okay, hey, there's Gabrielle said he's been pursued by real red-tailed hawk. One time I saw this red-tailed hawk go over my house, and I knew that this man had died. I knew it because I associated with him. He was actually not, I knew that was, I felt like it was his actual spirit coming through. And there's a lot more to that story, but I'm not going to bore you with it now. But turned out he actually died at that exact time. So I do think that human spirit's human. But I do think in that particular instance, maybe in certain instances, that maybe these spirits might be embodied in that way for a reason. Okay. I hope I haven't bored. Yeah, jackpot. He won $20. I'd like to win $20. Okay. Okay, Shannon there is saying that she's the kind that looks at the guy with the sign and all. But, I have to tell you, I'm going to tell you a story. This happened that I probably told you before. I'm going to tell you again. There's bound to be somebody new that hadn't heard it. This is just a quickie, don't worry. It was a dream I had. And I dreamed that there was a guy, and I'm not going to elaborate on it or nothing, but I dreamed, and it was like I was awake. I swear I was awake. It's like I woke up in my bed, and there was a guy in a construction outfit in my bedroom fixing something over there. And then he picked up a yield sign, not a yield sign, a warning, construction sign that's warning, danger, and all that stuff. And he picked it up, and he walked out of the room. And I swear to you, and then I woke up. I mean, it was real. But obviously it wasn't. And I don't have that kind of dream. Very, very rarely do I have a lucid kind of dream like that. I mean, that's not a lucid dream. I mean, that type of dream, whatever you want to call it. And I think that was definitely somebody trying to get my attention. And I don't know that guy that was carrying the sign. I think that it was just an image. But I think that I was being warned to be careful. And there was an incident with gas right after that I think that might have been referring to. In hindsight, I think that's still, but I also wonder maybe there wasn't some other stuff going on, and maybe that woke up a part of my unconscious mind to make me be aware that there might be some stuff going on that I might not have been paying attention to. So yes, sometimes our guides will absolutely come to us in dreams. Okay, never boring. Okay, is anybody else got anything? I'm sorry, I'm reading some of your comments. I think when the owl, Robin says, flew right in front of her, I think, again, when an animal or something like that gets your attention so strongly, I definitely think that means pay attention. I'll tell you, the vulture thing a while back with us, too. We went to get breakfast or something, and we had noticed a whole bunch of vultures actually over Shannon's house. And it was like, what is going on? Look at all that. Something died up there, right? So anyway, we drive a mile home, and went to the store down here, and there was like all these vultures over the store. Not the same vultures. They were like a different bunch, like over the freaking store. And then, it's like I'm noticing that. And then anyway, we come home, James went in, and I had to go somewhere, so I went up the road in another direction, got top of the hill, and some there wasn't another bunch of vultures. It's like, what the heck? So, James said they was following him. I think they was following the both of us at that point. But I feel like sometimes if something like that just keeps getting your attention, then obviously there's something that needs to be looked at. And, that's not a bad sign. There's no bad, okay? It just means this means this. And so I Googled it to see. But, obviously, certain things come to your mind when you see these things, and there's a reason certain things come to your mind. And that would help you say, okay, maybe this is a sign of a transformation, that maybe something needs to end before something else can begin. And maybe sometimes endings are not overly pleasant, but maybe that's the only way to get to the next level. This just in, by the way. Okay. Let's see what else we can see. Y'all read these comments because people tell their stories on here too, I'm sure. No, I do not think it was planned. Blah, I already did that one. I do think, however, just because something wasn't planned doesn't mean there's not stuff to be gleaned from it, and information to be taken for better or worse. I do think that humans, being what they are, will take information that can help heal, but they will also learn how to take information to know how to harm. Okay, so there's information that will heal, but there's information that will harm, and and it's all coming from the same source, and you got to make choices as to what you want to put your energy into, energy that is healing or energy that is harmful. And if I say something that is offensive or hurtful in any way, because hey, what do I know? You probably know more than me. Don't worry about it. Go with what you think. I want you to go by what I think, but not going to happen. I'm sure everybody's entitled to what they think is best. Okay, what else? I like what Shannon has said to Gabrielle there. Okay, is there anything anybody else wants to say? I've evidently run out of comments here. Everybody must have hung up. I went too far. So I guess that's it. And thank you so much for tuning in today. And maybe Kim will be back with us as soon as she can get some sort of Facebook fixed, or get some sort of media that will be helpful. And thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. I don't know why I appreciate that, because I don't know if you should share it or not, but people tell me to say it. Oh, wait, there, thank you. Somebody came back. How can you protect yourself if you're an empath? Oh, okay, let me give you that right quick, too. The reason I just was doing that this morning to somebody. Okay, here's what, you remember what I told you. You're psychically powerful when you're in that in-between state. But if you can get, like when you're falling asleep, but if you can breathe and get yourself in a calm place. Thank you, Rachel Roberts. Thank you. I was thinking I'd bored y'all to death and everybody was gone. But here's what you might want to do. Okay? You want to imagine, because that's where you find your power. Imagine that you are, that you have let's say a little spark of light, okay, right inside your body. And that this spark of light gets bigger and bigger until your whole body is glowing. You might want to do this when you're falling asleep, maybe, okay? And imagine now that you're glowing in white. And now imagine on the outside of this, there is a mirror that forms. So if you look at this mirror, you actually see your reflection. You see through it, but somebody else would see their reflection, okay? In other words, one-way mirror. And now imagine it's a special mirror, and imagine that if anything negative comes your way, it actually just reflects red and goes away. If anything positive, let's just say it turns blue and goes in. Whatever you want to do, how you want to work it. And imagine that it's that kind of shield, though, that it's so strong. I'm going to tell you a quick story about this. That, like I said, it just reflects everything away. Now, what you can do later, like you get around somebody and you feel they're kind of draining you, just maybe then say this word in your mind, like shields. And imagine that bubbles back up automatically. Just imagine that extreme force. Or you can just imagine a shield between you, and it's a mirror. I like using a mirror because it reflects back that energy, and they can therefore recycle their own energy and not take yours. Okay? That's the point of that. Now listen, I'm going to tell you how that works, and I'm going to tell you how I know it works, and I probably told you before, but again, bear with me because there's probably some of you who haven't heard this, okay? I'll try to be brief. A long time ago, I had this old gal come see me, and, she was a very nice girl, and she practiced Wicca or witchcraft, all right? I'm sorry for the people who've heard this, but anyway, I was sitting there, and I'm feeling her energy, and I'm listening, and minding, what she's saying, but also, minding my stuff, and I'm feeling like she's got something wrong with her foot. And so I'm thinking, I'm going under a healing vibe, which is what I do. I don't like to talk about it because, I just don't anymore, but I do it. Anyway, I was sitting in her, this healing vibe, and just when I did that, and she's in the middle of talking, it's like something shocked the fire out of my hand, and I actually jerked back because it was like, what? And she yelped and grabbed her foot. She had no idea what I was doing because she's across the room and she's all interested in, what her heartache is about. And I didn't say anything. So, and she said, oh, that was a lesson for her to not put such a strong shield around herself that she blocked out healing vibes. And I could go on with that, So energetically speaking, that's why I tell people to imagine, if you're putting a shield up, imagine that good stuff can penetrate. But also, just forget all that stuff. If people try to be good to you, let them. A lot of times people have a hard time accepting nice things from people, accepting affection, love, gifts of any kind of, gifts of real gifts, or gifts of material gifts, or gifts of spirit. Be open to receiving gifts, and don't block yourself up so much that you miss something like some extra love and care and kindness or whatever along the way, okay? But the reason I'm telling you that story is I'm telling you it's amazing the power you have within your own mind and consciousness if you will just tap into that. And we all got issues, and we screw ourselves probably out of everything in the world that we don't have to. I know I have. But anyway, thank you, Christine Nolan. Sometimes I am mighty unpowerful, and sometimes I don't know how I get by. Oh, thank you, Brandy. Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that some of you... this other guy one time, I swear it's so weird, he comes to see me, and he's talking, and I'm doing my random scan, and I think, oh, his gallbladder feels weird. So I start putting that healing vibe in, and he stopped talking. He said, oh, you're on my gallbladder. I didn't know you did some sort of healing. I have no earthly idea. I forgot what it was now. It's a Chinese thing. Other people tell me what it is. I forget. But it was just made me feel better to know I'm not a total lunatic, because again, he had no idea. We weren't talking about stuff like that. And the fact that he felt it made me feel like, oh my God, there is something. And then I immediately got afraid to even try it for a while, because I'm thinking, okay, something good happened, therefore I'm a spirit, because that's what humans do, and I'm no better than anybody else. But I don't like to, not everybody's meant to be healed. Not everybody can be healed. And I think once I start saying, oh, look at me, I could heal you, it's the day that I'm not going to be able to do a darn thing. So all I can do is say, you know what, I'll do what I can, don't worry about it. Okay, I guess that's it, folks. I hope I haven't bored you to death. I feel like I have, but I'm getting to be like a regular old person, and I will just tell you too many stories. I love you. I really do. I wouldn't do this if I didn't. Maybe some of you might love me too. And I guess that's it for today. Maybe old Kim will be back before too long.